Yeah. Great. Okay, there, finally, we're good to go. So thank you all for coming to this webinar on supply chain for career changers as part of the inaugural Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Week. My name is Seamus Kavanagh. I work with Irish International Freight Association. I'm going to do a brief introduction to the topic today. And we've got three guest speakers: Anna from Expeditors, Bruno from Wells Cargo, and Ingrid from University of Limerick. And there'll be time for questions and answers at the end of the session. So to begin with, I'm sure most of you are probably aware of what this event is at this stage, but it would be right to give a quick introduction to what Logistics and Supply Chain Week is. So essentially, it's an initiative to kind of promote careers across the supply chain industry. People aren't really aware of what logistics and supply chain is or how goods move around the world. So there's that kind of let's say, lack of an awareness as to the kind of career paths that are available to people and kind of exciting roles that are available to undertake as part of this industry. So the purpose of this week is to kind of shine a spotlight on freight and logistics and to let people know that the industry is here and if you want to be a part of it, there are various pathways into it. So some of the types of careers you could look at. I suppose the best way to describe this particular webinar is we're looking at it from two different angles. You've got your manufacturing side of supply chain, where you've got companies who create products or let's say medicines or different types of materials, and whatever it is they create, they want to then sell that product abroad. So they're responsible for getting raw materials in from different sources, sourcing them, getting them into a production facility, manufacturing them, overseeing that manufacture, getting them ready and compliant to be sold abroad, and then finally getting them ready to send out. So you've got your manufacturing side of the supply chain, and then you also have your kind of your service provider side. So those businesses that are solely responsible for moving cargo across the world. So each section here would have different sort of challenges and different sort of skill sets applied to them. So with respect to this webinar here, we're going to look at the service provider side first with Anna and Bruno, who are operational freight forwarders. And they'll speak about what it's like to perform their role. And then Ingrid from University of Limerick will speak a little bit about the manufacturing side of supply chain and the kind of apprenticeships and pathways they have to facilitate people who want to join the industry. I suppose when it comes to joining a new industry, it can seem a bit daunting, like, okay, you got to learn a whole new skill set, and it could be a bit intimidating as to how you might do that. But I suppose if you can take one thing away from this webinar is try and shift your mind to the idea that if you want to change industry, it is doable. And whatever industry you're in, you'll have skills from the industry already, which you can take with you and kind of help you transition into your industry and make that move that bit easier, hopefully. So before I hand over to Anna, I'll just say a quick brief word about the association. So we're Ireland's national representative body for freight forwarders and customs brokers. We're responsible for about 140 members nationwide, employing about 5,000 people, and we'll be responsible for 80% of the customs declarations made with revenue customs. Within our national position, we are a key part of two international bodies, FIATA, the International Federation of Freight Forwarders Associations, and CLECAT, the European Association for Freight Forwarders and Customs Brokers. As a representative body, we do the kind of things you'd expect with members, so like organize different informative events on key industry changes and regulation updates. And then we organize visits to kind of key ports and airports around the country and host some different webinars and topical things for the industry. So for example, Revenue Customs brought in a new export system quite recently. So we had some webinars with the members about how to prepare for that. In terms of our members, who are the freight forwarding service providers, this gives you a small flavor of the kind of companies that would be part of Irish International Freight Association. Some names you recognize, you got some big multinational players there. And we also have some homegrown successful Irish businesses there also. Before I hand over to Anna, just to kind of put into context the industry she's talking about, both Anna and Bruno completed what's known as the IIFA FIATA Diploma in Freight Forwarding, which is a 10-module course covering the cornerstones of the industry. So it's got topics and modules in land, sea, and air transport, and then background considerations such as customs clearance, handling dangerous goods. Within Ireland, we're authorised by FIATA to deliver this programme in their name in Territory Republic of Ireland. So FIATA are the global representative body for freight forwarders. They designed this course, and then they validate us to deliver it here in Republic of Ireland. So every 4 years, we have to go back to FIATA to have our material revalidated again. If they say it's up to scratch and meets the global standards of international supply chain, they validate us for another 4 years. continue delivering that program. I won't speak much more about it. We have our own ways of delivering it. It's kind of a on-demand course in the sense that it's 10 months to complete. You get a new module each month, but everything's available to kind of study on demand. So you get different webinars at least every month, which you can view whenever it suits you, on your lunch breaks, at the weekends, and evenings, whatever's there. But it has been quite a successful program, and we're quite proud of the way we facilitate learning for Ireland's freight forwarders. We had about 716 graduates who've earned the FIAL diploma across the many years. And one final thing I'll say about it is that it is internationally recognized. So in the same way that FIADA validate us to deliver this program here in Ireland, you'll find the same program being delivered by likes of Turkey, Singapore, Canada, Zimbabwe, Vietnam, and about 50 other national associations around the world. Okay, so I hope I've given you a bit of a framework for what it is we do and the industry we're talking about. So I'd like to hand over to Anna now, who will speak, who works with Expeditors Ireland, and she'll speak a bit about her career path and where she was before and how she is now as a freight forwarder. Okay, Anna, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Simon. I hope everyone can hear me well. I'm honored to be a part of this webinar today, to have the opportunity to share my story, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. I'm going to try and share my screen. Let me see how it works. Okay. So please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, perfect. Looks great.
Perfect. My name is Anna Lozovanu. I'm a logistic coordinator at Expeditors, and we work on site for Google. So Google is our one of our clients, and we do the logistic part for them. Some of my duties is working with the final customer. So we creating commercial invoices, we monitor the shipment, we making bookings via air freight, ocean freight, and road freight. At the same time, we handling some dangerous goods checkups. We working from home. I have no interaction with warehouses or anything else, but here I have a picture of myself holding my freight forwarding diploma, which I'm really proud of. Graduated last year, and it totally changed my my career path, and I see a bright future in this industry. So just a bit of agenda for today. I'm going to briefly go you through my career background, the top 4 challenges that brought me into where I am today, some helpful skills and tips if you still decided where you want to go, and then we'll have time for question and answers, as Simon said. Okay, so I've graduated economics. It was a hard decision after high school, knowing which pathway to take. Most of my friends were going towards medicine, towards law or finance, and I couldn't see myself in those industries. So then I decided to just do economics with specialty in meteorology and trade. For sure, not so much experience. My first job was as a sales assistant. And during those 3 years, I accumulated a lot of customer service background. It was the start of my logistic career, even if at that time I didn't know about. We were handling inventory processes, some storage processes as well, and for sure, customer services and sales. Then a big change came to my life. I moved to Ireland for more opportunities. Just at the start of 2016, the first job I could get in Ireland, being in a new country, foreign, it's a bit harder for us to get straight away into a top job. So I started in hospitality. And then during that year, I realized that this is not a long-term job for me. I wasn't finding myself into that. And I decided to complete a fitness course with UCD. So it was a hard time working part-time and study part-time, but I really got that strong personality in me, and I knew that good things will come with time, so I never gave up. I was trying to work hard, being on time with my assignments, with my exams, and good things came at the end. In 2017, after my graduation, the personal training course, I got offered a job in in UCD. So then I've been there for over 5 years. And then here I am at the present in logistics. Let me see. Yeah, here we are at the present in logistics. And I hope to be here for longer years ahead. Just the challenges that made me go towards this pathway for sure was COVID. COVID impacted the fitness industry. Overnight, we've been laid off. So next day I wake up, I had no job, where to go. And being in the lockdown, I had a lot of time to reflect over the things. Where do I see myself in the future? Is it still in the fitness? Is it something else? And then, yeah, I was asking, how do I see myself in the next 5 years? And wasn't fitness. Therefore, I didn't see a career path in fitness. There was no progression in those 5 years that I've been. So that was something that I needed to make a change. During COVID, I have completed a couple of courses. I did human resource. It was my first thought where I want to go. However, after doing that introduction course, again, I realized it might not be a great idea. I keep checking what industries are doing with COVID, what industries have been thriving through COVID, and logistics was one of that. And this is how I end up completing the freight forwarding diploma. And I'm, again, really proud of that. Then again, fitness is a very demanding job on your body. I have a back injury and I couldn't handle that much the effort. So then again, that really put me on the spot to make the change. And the last one was the money. For sure, we need, as we grow in our career, I know money might not be the most important thing, but still you want to feel valued in your company and you want to see that progression in all of the aspects. Some of the skills that I found myself helped me during my career is excellent communication. So in every job that I had, I was facing the client, either one-on-one, talking. At the moment in logistics, we are working more through the email chats, some meetings. So the communication was the key to get me where I am at the moment, along with a strong work ethic. I'm always trying to organize, be on time with all the work. It's hard, but we have to make an effort in that. Time management, again, making sure you prioritize your things in work. The soft skills, which is very important if you want to progress into your career. Most of the companies at the moment are looking for the employees to have these skills, and for sure discipline and consistency. The tips that helped me as well, what I was thinking, what I'm good at. I'm good with people, I'm good at solving problems. I like to be always in the move and learn more, develop myself more as much as I can. And then I do enjoy very much my my job at the moment. I've been having some mentorship program as well, talking with a mentor, giving me some directions, as you always don't know what to do. And in that case, you can, for sure, that was a big help for me. I stayed always positive, asked for advice where I could, and I break up my comfortable zone. Just, you know, instead of like keep going in the personal training, I said, no, I want to make a change. And it was a big change from an active job coming into a working from home job. Yeah, so I just want to say that if you really want to make the change, you can do it. And logistics industry, it is a thriving industry at the moment. We have I see a lot of technology involved into, and touch wood, hopefully no more COVID or no more virus and lockdowns we'll have. You're still going to have a secure job. And there's a lot of progression where you can go into. Thank you for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed the presentation.
Okay, super. Thanks very much, Anna. Super. Okay, that was very useful. I know your last slide there mentioned Q&A, but we might jump into Bruno next and keep the Q&A for the end. So thanks for your time there. I've got Bruno's presentation here. I'll just share. Okay, Bruno, if you'd like to just take the floor, please.
Yes. Hello, guys. Good morning. First at all, sorry about being a little bit late. It's just the issues, sometimes we have on the day-to-day that, sometimes we can be that punctual for some meetings. Okay, my name is Bruno. I'm 35 years old. I'm from Brazil, and I would like to show my point of view, because when I took part on the Fiata course, it was basically the beginning of the pandemic. So for me, it was that whole part of everybody being concerned about the pandemic, what is going to be, how's going to be the outcome. Most of the guys stay at home, could work from home, but for me, the pandemic was a time that I could use for find a new career path. So yeah, it was just interesting the process and all the support that I have throughout the whole course. So yeah, as I speak a little bit before, I'm 35 years old. I'm working in logistics since 2006 in my internship throughout the college. And I started, well, I was always the customer, always hiring companies and, always using logistics for small shipments and, trying to be a part, always from the company side. And throughout the course in 2020, it was the time that I was really interested to look on the other side of the operation. I've always been curious, but never searched to be a part of the industry. But yeah, throughout the pandemic, I say, yeah, I think now is the time. Let's do it and see how is the other side. And in fairness, I don't think that the other side is, well, this side here of the work. I work now with road freight. I'm doing less the container, less than full trailers. So makes more and more interesting for me this part. They put me on the road from Italy to Ireland, so I have a great part of bring at least 10 traders a week of goods to Ireland, helping loads of companies. And it's just interesting how is this industry, a part of being some companies. Well, in Ireland we have loads of companies doing the same kind of job, same kind of operations, but the contact that we have with members of the other companies every single day, and how we help each other to reach the main goal, that is keep the customer happy, is just amazing. So all the sacrifice that we put together, sometimes extra hours, sometimes being late for meetings, or all the effort that the customer doesn't see, so in the end pays, has a result. Simons, if you can pass
Yeah,
to the last one, please.
cool.
So, and here's basically the challenge that I could find uh, ingressing, taking part of the road freight, because I had great acknowledgement about air freight and sea freight, but road freight, it was for me something totally new. So now I understand even more when people say about the precise information, or what cargo can go in the same trailer, because it's quite difficult. Sometimes we have a cargo that is hazard shipment, and I have food, so basically it's cargo that I can put together, because might have the risk of cross contamination. And especially for dangerous cargo, I need to check, because since it's road freight, I can't use the LeBlanc, yeah, Le Mont tunnel in France to cross from Italy to Cherbourg. So the truck needs to go to another way, and I need to be aware because it's not every single day that trucks can drive alongside the motorway. So I need to take every this step into the consideration into my plan, so the customer can be delayed of the cargo. So all of this is something that we can predict, but the only thing that's quite different for us is the weather. The weather is always a key challenge for us every single week, because despite the weather in the continent is something, in the sea is different. So we need to look at the provisions, and if there is some disturbance in the sea, the cargo might be delayed, and we need to be always keeping the customer informed, because road freight is kind of express freight. So any disturbance in the weather might delay the cargo, and the customer, if not informed, will be extremely sad. So yeah, it is challenging, but I found really rewarding to me at the end of every single week.
Super. Okay, thanks very much, Bruno. Appreciate your time preparing a presentation for that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so probably got some good questions for you on that as well, but we'll hold that till the end. So maybe 1 second now. Our last presenter is Dr. Ingrid Hunt from University of Limerick. So I'll hand it forward to yourself now, and I'll make you co-host so you can make your own presentation. Yep, super. The floor is yours.
That's great, Seamus. Thank you so much. Just go and share my screen. Apologies. Would you believe, even working in a university and lecturing, this is my first time actually using Zoom. So despite COVID and 2.5 years and teaching online, we use MS Teams the whole time. So just if you bear with me, we should have the presentation here. And if you can just tell me that you can see it, that's great.
Yeah, we're all good there. Thank you.
Can you see? Okay. So I have a number of slides, but I'll quickly go through them. I know, Seamus, that you want to have a question and answer session. So I will briefly go through supply chain for career changes here and introduce you to our supply chain education at the University of Limerick. It's great to see that we have a week like this week with Logistics Week and Supply Chain, and logistics and supply chain are interchangeable really in terms of, I suppose, society's view on what they are. But over the last couple of years, supply chain has made the headlines. And, you know, without logistics, we don't have supply chain. Without supply chain, we don't have logistics. So I'm going to concentrate this morning just on the supply chain side of the house, and the programs that we design, develop, and deliver at the University of Limerick. And hopefully the audience will see that supply chain is a discipline that is growing and it's of interest to our audience. So a quick brief around the University of Limerick and supply chain. I will let you know about the industry learners that we have on our programs, introduce you to our apprenticeship model that has been very successful over the last couple of years, and especially at UL, and some of the areas of research focus that you may be interested in. And just, I suppose, the general overview of the presentation is around career change and education. So very quickly, I am 25 years working with industry and academics over the last 25 plus actually now years. So I work very closely with industry. All of the programs that I work on have been designed with industry input. I'm an academic director and project manager and lecturer for our programs. So there really isn't a day that doesn't pass in my day that I don't liaise with industry in some shape or form, whether it's with a large multinational, a smaller company. We have a range of industry learners, as we call them, in our supply chain programs, on our supply chain programs. I'm responsible for 2 of our master's programs, and I also have an active part in our industry learners research. So despite, you know, what a lot of people might think academics have their heads in the clouds, with our supply chain program, it's very much designed around industry, needing to know what current industry practice is, and working with a number of senior managers from a large range of companies to suppose, give us the right information that our learners want to have on their programs. So we, this is just a brief here. We have a very active and a very successful university in the University of Limerick. The supply chain programs that we offer are interfaculty programs, and this is quite unique in Europe and also, worldwide, that we have a clear focus not just on the business side of supply chain, but also from an engineering and manufacturing side on our programs. So that has been working out very, very successfully, and our students seem to like the blend of both business modules and engineering type modules. And now, when I say engineering, I don't mean working on the factory floor with machines and that. We would have simulation, we'd have mathematical modeling, and that type of thing around supply chain. So our programs are designed really, there's quite a lot of text there, but just basically our programs are designed fully online. Well, of course, they were online and blended learning before COVID. And then when we had COVID, we obviously went fully online. But the programs that I'm involved in are fully online. So the student we have global students right across the world that will come in on our programs. We allow for customization for learners and industry focus. We promote active and independent learning. We have a number of engagement tools to allow students to engage, dedicated forums, and we are very, very keen to have students learn from each other. And it's self-learning with moderation from and teaching from the lecturers. So, we have a key focus now from the School of Engineering and the Chemie Business School in the University of Limerick on supply chain and manufacturing education. And, when I think back when I started like 25 years ago, supply chain really wasn't seen as, a key discipline within business or within engineering. So now that has changed drastically. And, we are really, I suppose, improving the profile around supply chain education. So we have a number of programs in the university, starting from certificate, diploma, degrees, professional diplomas, professional masters, and now we are, in the last couple of years, we've introduced our doctorate program. So, students come in to us at very different levels. So they may come in with no knowledge of supply chain and starting to learn about supply chain and logistics, and that comes in at the cert level, to right up to the doctorate level, where they are going to specialize in a specific key research area to improve supply chain practice within an organization or within an industry as a whole. In the last couple of years, we've also changed the way that we teach and have our academic programs, and that's through the supply chain apprenticeship route. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But just to see that we have various levels of programs within our suite of programs, if I should say, within the university. So our programs are providing learners with a comprehensive knowledge and understanding of the basics, not just of the basics, but of key concepts, principles, and current practices of supply chain management and operations. And operations, I suppose, comes from the engineering side in various industry types. So, we want students to be able to identify and analyze and manage dynamic global supply chain environments. And we do have a number of students that are coming from, companies around the world, or you may have a company who has their headquarters in Germany or the US or in Singapore, and you may have students coming from their Irish affiliates. So, there's a great environment of learning globally within our programs. We want students to be able to upskill in new competencies and make positive contributions to the places of work. And a variety of professional backgrounds participating on the programs allows for excellent networks and opportunities are achieved. So who are our students? Typically, our students are students who want to change their careers, and or they want to upskill to meet industry or career needs. The majority of students that we have will say to me, Ingrid, I wanted to come back, now was the time to come back. Before I went around the world, before I started having children, before I changed my job, before I even built my new house, or before I took a 6 months sabbatical or whatever. So a lot of students will do that. And COVID also changed people, personally and emotionally, and career changes. And we found that our numbers were increasing over COVID because people felt, well, okay, I need to move into a different, area, or I'm not getting a promotion, or I'm not getting a salary increase, all those kind of things. So those would be sort of decisions that students would make. Also, we would have maybe older students that would come back and would say, do you know what? My own children are now starting degrees, and I really regret not doing a degree, or, you know, I have my degree and I didn't do my master's, and now I want to be doing it alongside my own children. So there's those type of decisions that come into the making of coming back into education. A lot of our students will be, well, the majority of our students are working full time. On the master's program, we will have students who are at senior level, who will have quite a lot of responsibility around supply chain decisions in their organization. We would say that, you know, the majority of students then will have done, for the master's program, obviously will have done a degree and then want to go into the master's program. They're employer supported more, I suppose 9 times out of 10. They also find, I suppose, from the fact that it's quite positive them coming back into education, there can be a number of challenges coming back into education. And, you know, they will find, you know, time management quite a big challenge, and also academic writing. And we are very mindful of that because, you know, a lot of people coming back haven't done a paper, a written assignment since maybe they're leaving cert, if they're coming in at cert level or diploma level, or some people haven't done, you know, final year reports or, you know, those type of things. So we're very mindful of that. And I suppose the benefit of the fact that we are teaching online gives us a great opportunity to provide a lot of resources and different ways of teaching for students to overcome that whole academic writing. So then to talk a little bit about our apprenticeships, I'm conscious of the time there, Seamus, for you, and I just want to get all this information out for you. But the apprenticeships are a new model that, you know, all of, I suppose, our government has been promoting for the last couple of years. And the unique thing about our apprenticeship is that we are providing programs that are at a higher level in terms of education. We are promoting them at from cert, diploma, degree to master's and to doctorate level, our apprenticeship program. And UL is the first university in Ireland to offer a master's program as an apprenticeship program in the area of supply chain operations. So we're extremely proud of that, been the first one in Ireland to do that. You know, really, you know, on the ground, when you have a class of students, there's no real difference between our fee-paying students, our non-fee paying students, and our apprenticeship students. They're all one, you know, cohort of students, and they all are coming from industry. So they all have some experience about industry, but they also have a key common component that they want to learn more, and they want to get a academic award for their learning. So all the programs are designed to minimize the students' time away from work, and we use a 70-30 ratio of on the job and off the job. There's subsidized fees for these programs. They're delivered through blended and online program delivery, and the master's program and the professional diploma in supply chain is fully online. Employers and apprenticeships support through a dedicated UL staff. This is there's complete support for our apprenticeships. There's complete support for all our students, but I suppose there's an added support for the apprenticeship students. You know, there's smaller class sizes. We have an apprenticeship program manager dedicated completely to looking after these students. They have company mentors, and the company that has putting forward these students as apprenticeships have a vested interest also in the academic content and the success of the students. So the apprenticeships in UL are I would say, are one of our most popular programs to come on, but also they are very positive. Students have very positive experience on them, and also it's been a success model for the university. Again, this is just a very quick slide around their career path. You know, you can come in as a logistics associate, you can come up to a supply chain associate, a supply chain specialist, a supply chain manager, and a doctorate of supply chain. So who would be a supply chain professional. So, you know, where I see the students on a day-to-day basis are these 3 levels: coming in as a supply chain specialist, supply chain manager, and then coming in for the professional supply chain. And these will be at director and senior manager level. Then We have a high percentage of students on our program, but the most popular program at the moment would be our diploma programs, and also, you know, fastly catching up then are the degree and the master's programs. We have various industries in supply chain, and as Seamus had mentioned, you know, I was coming from the manufacturing side, and that would be my own background, would be in manufacturing. But over the last, I would safely say over the last 8 to 9 years, I have seen a huge change in the type of student that's coming in on our program, including logistics and supply chain. It's no longer just dedicated to manufacturing. Supply chain is, you know, coming in from transport, logistics, engineering, retail, energy, aviation. We see a lot of students coming back now from the defence forces. We've seen in the last few years managers coming in at senior level coming in from the HSE, which is good to see. Technology, service, biopharma, and students coming in from the public sector. So there is a mixed bag of industries now coming in. It's no longer, I can no longer say that it's pure manufacturing for supply chain. And also, I think this is really important, because when our students come in and they are working in group work, they're working on discussion forums, they are learning what's going on in other industries. So they're getting real current practice that they wouldn't get from a library book. They're getting, you know, on the ground current practice of what's going on. And then when it comes to doing some projects and they have, you know, project work to do, they're talking with each other and saying, well, you know, this is what we do in the HSC, and, you know, this is what we do in the Defence Forces, but actually, you know, we've got similar challenges and we've got similar opportunities. So just to give you an example of some of the companies that we have on our program, we've got some very large multinational students coming in, but we also have smaller, and we have family businesses with students coming in as well. So there's a mixed bag, and it's brilliant that big companies are sharing their knowledge with smaller companies, and smaller companies are sharing their knowledge with larger companies. So I think that is a really important thing. Again, there's different roles available within the supply chain. You know, we have associate specialists. We've noticed that, you know, people working everywhere from distribution to the warehouse, right up to, you know, strategic planning in the boardroom. So we have a whole range of supply chain people, technicians, right up to managers, up to directors. So where are our graduates now? Many of our graduates have gone back into project management, consultancy, electronics, pharma, medical devices, retail, logistics, public sector. Many are still with their current employer, but they would have progressed and they would have got promotion, salary increases, like that. A lot of them are connected to our supply chain professional community through networks, email, social media. We have students who have graduated who have come back now as in-company mentors for our for our apprenticeship students. And some students go back on to further study. Some will give their time and their knowledge to our master classes that we run over the course of the year, our summer schools and workshops within the university. And some of them will have relocated to global companies outside of Ireland. I think the key, what I want to try and get from here as well, is that when our graduates go, they're always very willing to come back and help us as help the academics and our program manager, our apprenticeship program manager, with, you know, transferring the learning that they've had to the next cohort of students coming up. And that's something that we're very proud of in the university. Again, I am seeing more and more females coming into this space, which is really brilliant to see, because traditionally when I started off lecturing, you know, there was very few girls in our classes. And in fact, you know, I would be the only supply chain academic in our School of Engineering. So we have a bit of a way to go that side, but we are seeing more students coming in that are female. We need to encourage more STEM, you know, subjects in our primary and secondary schools. We need to have more understanding of what a day of the life in supply chain is for our TY students. You know, employer diverse recruitment, flexibility around working, mentoring and networking opportunities, progression pathworks, and parity of pay and opportunities. So I'm sure we could give a complete lecture just on this slide alone, but I just want to be able to say that it's fantastic that we can see more and more girls coming into this space. And also when we're doing discussions and we're having project work, it's always great to have two sides, you know, the male and the female side to views and to their experiences of what are going on. And just quickly, I'll just let you know that we do research in our supply chain programs. And I say this all the time, we don't work in a science lab coming up with a cure for cancer, and therefore people kind of think, okay, you're not really doing research, but that's actually not true. We're doing really significant research from our research students and industry students that are influencing organizations across the globe. Everything from risk management to strategic sourcing, sustainability, artificial intelligence, capacity planning, all of these things are really, really important. So, if you are considering coming back into education to change your career, to have a look at it from a supply chain point of view, our programs, and I'm not here to sell the programs per se, but just to encourage you to know that there's programs out there that are flexible, they are, online, they are very varied, they have a real industry focus, students enjoy them, we get positive feedback, and, the employers as well, feel that they're developing more talent, they're getting fresh thinking back into their business, they're strengthening their employer brand and awareness, and we are getting more and more funding from the government. So obviously the government feel that we are doing something right in terms of our programs. There's a number of testimonials there, they're positive, the ones I put up, of course, obviously they're positive, but, all in all, our students are very happy. They recommend us again then with other colleagues within their organizations, and we're building up a really good environment and competencies around supply chain, thanks to these programs. I'll just leave you with one other slide. We have a number of people here who, if you were ever interested in looking at supply chain, or even, it doesn't have to be with the University of Limerick, but, we do have a very, very good successful apprenticeship program. Elaine is there, she's our apprenticeship program manager. She would be happy to talk to anybody. Then, of course, there's myself, and then we have the head of our Flexible Learning Centre, Michael, as well. I'd be happy to talk to you. Again, you mightn't be interested in some of the programs we're offering, but you might want to reach out to us and see, maybe to give us a little bit about your background, and we might be able to suggest something, if it's not just with ourselves, but it's, with another university. So I hope that's okay, Seamus. Yeah.
Yeah, super. Well done. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so what we might do now is open the floor to any questions. So if anybody has any questions you'd like to ask any of our panelists, please feel free to unmute and ask away. Or if you wish to ask a question in the chat box, I'll have a read of it there and answer it out loud.
Good afternoon. Seamus, you can hear me?
Yeah, super.
Yeah, my name is Terry Sweeney. I'm also on the council of IIFA, and I work for a company called Seabridge in freight and logistics. If I could ask Anna and Bruno, please, just the same question. Obviously, at the moment, you're learning different aspects in terms of freight, supply chain, logistics. If you see your career developing, and this is not like an interview question, or don't see where your career is in 5 years' time, it's not that type of question, but I suppose there's an opportunity to develop your career either in a generalist way or to specialize in a specific area of logistics, transport, supply chain. At this stage, do you see there's a particular area that you believe you want to develop, or are you looking to develop your career in more open to a general management or general career progression?
Thank you, Terry, for the question. Myself, because I'm still new in the industry, it's been over a year. I'm trying to see, this is my next step. I want to make sure I'm going to get specialized in a particular part. In any, like as a freight forwarder, for sure, first thing would come the air freight or ocean freight, something that would be more specific, because at the moment I do lots bits of everything, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out where I go and what is the progression in the company, which for sure we have a special team with the ocean, a team with air freight, and even compliance, if you wish, or dangerous goods. But I do want to stay as a freight forwarder and figure out in the few years, probably. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Hi, Terry.
Hey,
Hello,
Bruno.
everybody. Hey, thanks for the question. And yes, at the minute, I'm working with road freight. I have my fair bit of experience with warehouse, and you know, I feel more confident because every week is a different process that I face throughout the groupage. But for the future, I would like to, be more general. I would like to have experience with ocean freight and air freight as well. So yeah, at the minute I'm happy, but I'm always eager to learn. Always looking for the next adventure, for the
Yeah.
next challenge.
Okay. Thank you. I look forward to asking the same question in 5 years' time and see what the answers are if they've changed. But thanks very much to both of you for excellent presentations and best of luck in the career development. Thank
Many
you.
thanks for that.
I might jump in here now as well and just ask the two of you now that you're in the industry at least over a year. What is it you enjoy most about freight forwarding or about your current job?
I enjoy more like problem solving. I found that when is a problem with the shipment, I'm very eager to find a solution and being in contact with a customer, do whatever I can, trying to follow up where was wrong and then where we can improve. So I always work with my team, and if I have an issue, I always give them heads up, and then we try to find a solution together. So that thing is excited. Another thing is, as Bruno mentioned, there's different things. The logistic process are changing. We are working with complex countries like Africa, US. So different country has different regulations, which we need to pay attention, and is a learning process. And the more I know, the better I'm going to be in my job. Yeah, so that would be the most what I'm enjoying.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Well, I would say for me that the challenges are basically every minute, and the thing that I like is the reason that I come a little bit late, because the customer had reserved a certain space with my truck, and basically by the time that the truck arrived there to load, he requests more space. So I was trying to basically I was reworking my trucks, and in a way that I could keep the customer happy, but I do not leave any cargo behind. So these kind of challenges is what keep me interested in the area. No week is like no week is the same. Every single week is a new challenge, is a new way to approach. Basically, I'm here for the past 2 years, and I developed my way to do the job. But I have the opportunity to check different persons helping me with the job. So it's different ways of doing the same job and different angles to look at the same issue, the same problem. So this for me is just amazing. You look to the same problem, different angles, and you have different outcomes.
Great stuff. Yeah. I think it's interesting you both use the word challenge as part of the job. Like I do get that a lot from the stories I hear from different freight forwarders, that they have this complex shipping, and the sense of satisfaction to get from solving the riddle is sounds like a very great thing. So interesting to hear you both say that, and thank you for your answers. Cool.
Thank you.
Seamus,
Brendan, hi, how's it going?
Yeah, Seamus, how are you doing? Sorry, just a very quick question, probably more towards Ingrid at the moment. Ingrid, are you aware of any plans or for some sort of qualification around customs? There's lots of little courses and whatever, but I don't physically see a degree. Or even just like, and I'm aware, obviously, from the accounting perspective, there's a lot of people that were qualified accountants that work finding good VAT, good areas to pay VAT, and good countries to do imports into. But are you aware of anything on the horizon from that perspective within Ireland, or even from a more European level?
Brendan, yeah, thanks for the question. From the Chemi business side of the school, they have some certs on procurement and including a few things around customs. And I know that we are developing more micro-credential programs, which would be just standalone modules. So I think the best way would be to have a quick look at the business side of the university school. That's just from our university. Off the top of my head, for other universities, I'm not sure, but I do know also, and I probably didn't say this in my presentation, that we often get, say, somebody like yourself that would come and look for a targeted course on specific things, and we would actually, if we get enough interest in that, we will design the modules based on what the industry is looking for. So that's another way of, industry contributing to the knowledge that we're sending out to the rest of the world. So, but I would say the Chemi Business School would have something around customs for sure. It wouldn't be engineering side per se, but the Chemi Business School, Brendan. So I know I'm not really answering your question, but I'm trying to give you some direction there in terms of our business school.
No, that's great. No, I'm just curious as to where you'd be at with it. That's fine. Thanks very much, Ingrid.
No problem. Thanks.
I might just throw in on that as well. Within our association, obviously the IFA did a lot to prepare or help members prepare for Brexit, with lots of, let's say, practical training sessions on how to do customs declarations. So there is some work going on in the background with ourselves as to let's say some higher level customs compliance procedures and training course on top of that as well. So might give you information on that in the future when it's ready.
Stuff, Seamus, yeah.
Sound, yeah, cool.
Maybe Seamus, I can ask a question.
Yeah.
Hi,
sure.
I'm Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
I'm from the Department of Transport and the Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Group. So delighted to be here at this webinar today. We've touched on it a little bit in terms of the skills that you might need to work in the sector. Anna mentioned problem solving, and Seamus, you talked about challenge. But I'm just wondering about other kinds of skills that you would see people could bring from other sectors. Like, what are those kind of soft skills that you would need? And then is there kind of any natural other industry where those skills are likely to already be used that could be transferred across? So where could we target basically career changers to come and join our logistics and supply chain sector?
I can take that a little bit of that, Anne-Marie, if Seamus, if you want me to. Anne-Marie, that's a really good question, because over the years we've had absolutely brilliant students do some fantastic, do really, really well, and their organizations will come back and say to me, Ingrid, this guy has done some fabulous, and I'm talking now maybe at master's level, where they're doing research, and they will have gone through 10 modules, and then they will do a thesis, or gone through 5 modules and then do a thesis, whatever. But they're going to do a thesis, a real focused piece of research. But their managers will all come back and say communication skills is one of the key skills, no matter what technical skills they have gained. Because, and I see it as well, I sit in on all the presentations of our students over the years. So 25 years plus 2 cohorts of students a year. So you can imagine all the students that I would see. And some research is absolutely fantastic, but the delivery of the research is lost in translation. So a lot of employers will say communication skills, written skills. And these are topics that come up time and time again, because I'm also involved in design of programs. And, I've sat on all these forums and boards, and they'll say, what is the key skills that we want our future engineers, our future managers, and all the rest to have? Communications. And it's not always embedded into program design. And we're trying to address that in supply chain. We'll give students resources on how to present and how to write and that kind of thing. That's one of the biggest things. The other thing is, and it's not a module, but managers will say to me, Ingrid, I want them to hit the ground running. So that's the skill, hit the ground running skill. So, maybe that's a new module we need to design and call it that, but that would be one of the other things. Also, Anne-Marie, another thing that comes into you know, because we're an interfaculty program between business and engineering, and we do mathematical modeling and simulation on our program, one of the major things is maths, that a lot of people will find maths difficult. That's still a big component right across engineering programs, not just supply chain, you know. So I would say maths, basic maths, it can still be an issue for people coming in. Communication skills, hit the ground running skill, and you know, if you can do that, you're able to sell the technical stuff. You know, it's all the others, all that softer side that we're still missing. And I think some more resources need to go into that. And also, I think that engineering type programs and business type programs need to recognize that, okay, technical content is very important, but in real life, we're humans dealing with people. We have to present the work, and we have to be, you know, students that have done a full year or 2 years on a program want to be able to showcase their work confidently to their managers, you know, and that isn't always the case. They may be an A student, but they mightn't be able to stand up and present the work correctly. Okay, I don't know if that helps, Anne-Marie.
That's fantastic, Ingrid. Great answer. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're happy you can chat to us again, you know, offline, Anne-Marie, again. There's no problem.
If I might add just one more thing, is to be part of a team. Sometimes this is a skill when people are preferring to be by themselves, but there is no way to grow on your own. So just being part of the team, trying to connect as much as you can, and yeah, that's the way to success. What I found myself, like, if you are a team player, you can reach high.
Yeah, I believe that. Thanks for the words, Anna and Ingrid. But in the same line, Anna-Marie, just to summarize, yeah, basically on a day-by-day basics math and communication with the customer really helps a lot, you know, because we are not dealing with customers every day that the main language is English, so something might be lost in translation. And well, on a day by day, you start developing the other language. You know, you need to focus a little bit on the other languages in order even to help, you know, something that is lost in translation. But if the person said in their original language, you can understand and maybe try to sort. You know, I think this, once you have these ones, the other skills that you require for the job come from the day to day.
Great, thank you, Bruno and Anna, for those answers.
You're welcome.
Super. Okay, I think we're good for questions there now, unless anybody else has anything. Well, that's great. We've managed to finish just on 1 o'clock, so that's a great what's the word? Testimonial for freight forwarding. You finished on time. Well done. So look, thank you very much for everyone today. So thank you very much, Department of Transport, who supported this initiative of the Supply Chain Week. It's great to have a method to raise the profile. And there's a lot of work done by Anne-Marie and her team and Denise and Brendan in getting this together. And we're very grateful to have the spotlight on the industry and the chance to chat about what we do. And thank you also to Ingrid, Bruno, and Anna for preparing presentations and sharing your story with us today. Fair play, you guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Seamus. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. And thanks.
Thank you.
This